A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tin Pot, a Scottish football podcast. My name's Tom. I'm your host, joined by our usual two, Matt and Andrew, here to discuss not our usual sort of format this week. It's not a full review of the Premiership action over the weekend, but just a few of the major headlines. We're going to be looking at a few different dodgy refereeing decisions and discussing Martin again and his shambles of a start, and just generally all the shit managers that have been before. But before we get on with all that, it's always important to check in with our buddies Matt and Andrew. How are you both? Are you recovered after Friday night's antics at the bowling alley?
Yeah, I'm well. Yeah. We had our first annual Tin Pot get together and had a few drinks and a meal and bowling. So yeah, I'm full of Diet Coke, mate. Still pissing from all the pints of Diet Coke I was necking. But yeah, smashed you a ball in the second game. Winner.
Let's get that in nice and early. Well done. Yeah, smash you in the second game is the key word in that.
Although there's controversy after
score in the first game.
I can't quite recall that, but yeah, you're blaming the old technology for not knocking down all the pins when apparently.
Yeah, VAR.
Yeah, you said you knocked them all on the last ball, but you had to get a strike. Only got a 9.
I don't think I said I knocked them all over. You both witnessed all the pins go down and the score didn't update correctly. But I don't think you'll really have heard too much moaning from me since I shook your hand and said, well done, you got the dub.
Yeah.
Fair
play to Andrew as well for continuing to persist with the extra large ball for the whole.
I did. I was trying to find my style, did a bit of kind of weightlifting with it in my run-up. And it was a bit sort of up
your
and down.
Your best ball was when you turned your back and threw it through your legs. That was when you got the most.
I forgot I did that actually.
Yeah,
I had a fair few pints by then, but definitely don't get any better after a few pints. But I'm usually pretty shy. It was always going to be between you two, so you're definitely the Hearts and Celtic of the group, really. Yeah.
I was having a disaster in that second game. What was it like? I was like on 34 or something after 5 balls. And then I hit 3 strikes in a row.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, eh?
It was unreal.
They call that a three-peat these days, that's what they're calling it.
Back to back
to back. Right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's the modern phrase, the three-peat.
It was unexpected anyway, the way it was going.
My first time ever at that Hollywood Bowl, and by and large it was good, but how can you be a Scottish place that serves alcohol and not have tenants on draft? It's a disgrace.
Yeah, that's very true.
What's wrong with them?
Camelin Bowl has tenants, I'd assume.
Of course it does. Yeah, £3.75 a pint.
Nice.
Or 85
stuff.
It is American though. It's Hollywood. So the
true.
As Andrew attested. Piss water, like you called it.
Yeah, there's some pretty rank beers in there, to be fair. Not a good selection, but we'll say, if you ever go there and have the chicken wings, they are something to.
Of which we didn't bother to.
We didn't. No. We had a big Indian by then, but.
Collie wings are available. Vegan options.
And I won on the grabber, like I said I would. Won a toy for the kids. Eh?
You
Zazu,
did, yeah.
From the Lion King.
Zazu, yeah. Which of your two children was gifted it? Older or younger?
It sort of in the room, and Mara played it for about 5 minutes in the Saturday morning. I don't know where the toy is now. I think at the bottom of a box somewhere. So
I was going to say it's
much like all the winning.
5 minutes of excitement.
Yeah, it's all about the winning it though. I might go to the charity shop in a couple of years' time and reminisce of the glory of the grab. It can't be the computer if I'm constantly winning. So I don't know. I think I've just got the knack for the grab.
Constantly winning.
I've won maybe 7 or 8 toys in my life.
In your life?
I'm only
34 years old.
I only play 7 or 8 times, so that's 100% record.
I've witnessed you in the last month sink like 20 quid into grabbers. You're full of shit. Just in the last month.
That was the 8th time. I won a big, massive Iron Man fist at the Burnt Island Amusements. That was class.
Nice.
Son takes Bosh, he smashed you with it. Class. I've won a pineapple in the Brewers Fair in Dunfermline. I won a bird in Alton Towers. I won a meerkat, someone else. I could go on. I've forgotten.
Please do.
That many. I won a Lilo or Stitch. What's the alien called? Which one's the alien?
Stitch. Yeah.
Yeah, wearing like
Stitch.
a Hawaiian shirt. Won that one at the Fleet in Livingston.
Cool. Nice.
Although that was a team effort with my friend Stephen. Big up.
How do you team effort a grabber?
We're tag teaming it. One shot each.
Yeah, but who got the lift?
Can't say. But I was there.
Oh, Stephen. Yeah, there we go. That's not counting.
So yeah, I'll make a list for next episode and I'll present them to you guys so you can see them.
That's the content everybody wants. Definitely. Let's do that.
Yeah. Get them on your shelf behind you. It could be
like
my trophy shelf.
That's right.
Unless they're all in the charity shop by next week.
No, I would never throw those out. Not until the day I die. I will keep them as memories of some good moments in my life, highlights of my life. I would say. That's it. Anyway,
what a sad little life,
fun.
Jane.
I'm making it sound so depressing, the old bowling, but it was fun. It wasn't
great.
just me obsessively trying to win a toy. We threw some basketballs as well and knocked over some clowns. Was it?
Down the clown, yeah. That's what 3 sort of 30-ish-year-old men do on a Friday night. Yeah, go to Hollywood Bowl. Nothing better.
Surrounded by young people and weirdos. We were the weirdos.
Yeah.
And then we tried to play the Halo game at the end with our last £4 and it wouldn't.
Yeah, it didn't happen. To be fair, like I only really thought about it the next day, but the general kind of vibe from the sort of bar staff, I think they were a bit like, oh god,
why are they still here?
It's like, this is so sad.
Yeah.
So I bet you they like had like a little setting for the Halo thing, and we're like, just make sure it doesn't work because they're never gonna fucking leave. So
yeah, it's like when
turn it off for
in,
the gimps. Yeah.
When I used to work at McDonald's, and it was like when I used to close, and you were like, oh yeah, 10 minutes to go. I'm just gonna start like tidying up, and then some idiot comes through the drive-thru in order to fillet a fish, and you're like, oh fucking hell. That's what you want. You don't want to be like working. Like I know it says it shuts at 12, but you really expect people to sort of start to filter
you want to
out.
wind that shit up.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
11:15, 11:30, you're good to go. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. That's why they're so grumpy.
Staff. Yeah. They weren't happy.
No.
Can't really blame them. To be fair, I'd be grumpy.
Who won the hardest punch competition? Was it me?
That was Thomas.
That was it.
Iron Mike.
It would have been you if you'd taken part, but that's
you know your Iron Fist, your Iron Man fist.
Bosh.
It's taken off the wall.
Don't believe in physical violence. So. Against man norms.
Remind me of that lot. How did that work for you when you used to be in the centre of the park, playing 11-a-side?
Oh, I was like, I was ahead of my time, you know, like before. I didn't bother to get stuck in. I was just get the ball, play it short, you know.
Avoid any hard tackles.
Like the Manchester Derby vibe, you know, no yellow cards and that. Big Roy Keane wasn't happy, was he? Not one yellow card.
Fucking fuming, yeah.
He
just wants people to smash into each other, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Game's gone.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, that's
that was it. That was the night.
For those listeners who are not interested in our bowling adventures, I'm sorry you've had to sit through 7 or 8 minutes of that, but it's good for us to reminisce. We don't, like Matthew said, that's going to be the first of hopefully many annual outings as a trio. But
bowling's a fucking scandal, though, mate.
Becomes more regular.
Rip-off, no? Rip-off, like absolute rip-off. Was it
they charge you
£89 for 3 games or something?
Charge you more if you buy more games for some reason. It was £8 each if you bought 2 games per person. And it went up to £9 per game per person if you bought 3. So, don't know where they've gone to maths school at, but I tell you what, it's not bloody University of Edinburgh, is it? It's more like the toilet school.
Yeah, that's good of you, mate.
That was good, mate. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that one all weekend. Bloody disgrace. I'll tell you what else is a disgrace. Nice quick segue to talk about some Scottish football. Matt loves my segues. We're not going to review all 6 games like we did last week. We're just going to really talk about the major headlines, really. And I think the main one for me was the refereeing decisions. There was 3 or 4 pretty awful ones across the weekend. There was Celtic getting their last-minute penalty through a ricocheted handball. We had United getting a man sent off and giving away a penalty against Hibs. And then there was a couple in the Rangers game. The handball that led to that Hearts first goal, and also the penalty that Hearts were given could easily be taken as a dive. So I think we'll start at Rugby Park, where there was a 12-minute boycott at the start, but we're not going to dwell on that. We're going to just get stuck into VAR.
45-minute boycott. The first half was rotten, mate. I think the teams were taking part in that as well. I watched the highlights on today and then didn't show anything in the first half. I just cut straight to the second half. I was like, okay, that sums it up.
Really? There wasn't like a single...
No. Second half, boom. I think all the action in the second half.
Players
Here's
also
a question for you, for any Scottish football experts. Why is it called Rugby Park? They play football there. Why is it not called Football Park? You know? Do you know the answer to that?
Probably something you could just Google, but...
Rugby Park. Rugby Park. Or like the Kilmarnock Arena, I don't know. I'll Google it now.
Just call it the Billy Bowie Stadium at this rate. His name's
Steve
plastered
Clark
all
Arena.
over it. Yeah, it's a good question, Matt. Sadly, don't have the answer. Not one
Email
I've got prepped, but I'm sure a quick Google could fill us in. Yeah, if any of our regular listeners want to drop us a line, by the time you listen to this and do get in touch, we will have Googled it. But anyway, nice to join in.
Yeah.
Can we get back to some handballs? Yeah. Let's start with Rugby Park. The ricochet. Andrew, what was your take on that? And putting all your blue bias aside, if possible.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I thought Kettlewell spoke really well after the game in a few interviews about it. Obviously, he was not happy about it, but the way he kind of communicated it, I think, was good. He said that he was pulled in at the start of the season with him and his players to explain what a handball and what a handball wouldn't be. In the instance where effectively, it's a ricochet, it's very, very short distance, it's not blocking a shot on goal or anything like that. That's an absolute stonewaller for, being reversed if the penalty is given. But the fact that Brother Beaton's gone to the monitor and, he's then made the decision after that, joking aside, I mean, I do really do think that, that Celtic and Rangers, home or away, referees do tend to show that they buckle to the pressure because there is such a presence there. But in a game like that, Killie were really, they were taking Celtic to the sword at the end, and they looked like the most likely team to win the game. So you've got to be really aggrieved. I mean, I can't see in any world how that could be defended as a penalty. I just don't. What you meant to do in that situation, it's from less than a yard, so I just don't understand how what are you meant to do? Like, what are you supposed to do as a defender or any footballer, even an attacker in that situation? Like, what are you meant to do? Like, it's absolutely impossible for them to get out of the way of that. Because it's ricocheted as well, it makes it even more challenging to get out of the way. I just think it's an absolutely ludicrous decision. But obviously we've got several talking points about refereeing decisions from one weekend, so it's not to say it's just being focused on one game and there's a bias to Celtic or anything like that. It's just the refereeing overall is just absolutely piss poor up here. But if you can't make that basic decision, I think, where do we go from here? Because ultimately you're going to get decisions given, that absolutely are not penalties, and crucial decisions as well. This is early in the season, but you get this kind of consistency near the end of the season where points really matter. When Hibs and Hearts are really fighting it for the title, then it's going to be it's going to be really, really difficult to then say, all right, okay, no, sorry, we're going to take that away from you. I find it sad. But hey, not surprised though. John Beaton's been responsible for some horrendous decisions for so many teams.
It's ridiculous. I mean, how can the referee's got it right? Like during the game, like it's a crowded box, takes a deflection, it goes. He says no penalty. Like there's not an obvious mistake by the referee. Like
no,
it's ridiculous. Why does he need to be called to the monitor to check that? Because when you slow it down and then you're trying to analyse Mayo's movements and determine that if it was deliberate or if his arm was in an unnatural position. Well, of course it was, because he's a human being and he's moving his body, and it's such a quick
you can't
moment.
do it
It's
with
so
your
close.
arms by your side. And the thing is, you can't even do that. Yeah.
Like so close and so fast. Like it's ridiculous.
No.
Absolutely ridiculous.
But why are they having to even go to the monitor in that situation?
Just to, I know, if you're not given the decision and then that was it, game over, then I mean, Celtic fans might have had a complaint, but it wouldn't have been a big thing. Now it's a massive thing that you've given the penalty. If you hadn't given the penalty, then it's clearly obvious why you haven't given the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Give it, it's just seems like you're finding reasons, like all the time with VAR. They're finding reasons to disallow things or to give things that
that's true.
A normal game, we would just get on with it. Like just play football, to fucking play football, and just these things happen, and the referee decides in the moment. That's what it is.
That's true, and I think with VAR as well, you can slow it down, like, and you can take all sorts of different angles.
Like, at the moment it hits his arm, well, it hits his fucking arm, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like contentious issue about it actually hitting his arm. It hits his arm, of course it does. But is it a penalty? Is the point? It just at the moment the bar is it hits his fucking arm.
Like you have a moment like that in Dundee United as well, where the smallest thing happens where it hits his arm from a deflection, and doesn't mean it's a complete accidental thing, but they got a penalty to win the game. It's the punishment is so unfair, like it's so far away from the crime, or can you call it a crime? I don't know. It's not a crime. It's just an accident that happens, and then you get a penalty and you win the game. Like, and then in the case of the boy for United, he gets sent off as well. It's just like it's so unfair. These small little milliseconds of moments.
How did that happen? What was the justification for him getting sent off?
Well, the United one, I know.
Yeah, yellow card because the ball's hit his arm and they think it's going towards the goal.
They can't even tell. They can't even tell if it's going into the goal. There's no. Oh, that annoyed me so much. It was. How could you even possibly tell?
I think unless you're literally right in front of the goal, you're like 5 yards out.
Yeah,
or
on the line. Yeah,
it's clear as day that it's going to go in. Otherwise, I don't think you can possibly tell, and especially with the lack of fucking technology and ability to use the bloody technology up here. Like, how are you determining that is deliberate, A, and secondly, it stopped a goal scoring opportunity? It's just bollocks. They just make it up. Like that's what it feels like. There's no
game to game.
There's no line. It's mental. Absolutely mental.
On the Celtic one.
I don't really want to comment on each individual one, because to me, like, the bigger issue I've got with this is just VAR in general. Why you've got Celtic fans protesting a board that have spent loads of money, Rangers fans angry at a manager after literally one league game was when there was boos and all that sort of nonsense. You've got they're the two strongest, biggest voices in the Scottish game. There's not been a single sort of glimpse of a rise up against VAR. If anyone can come onto this podcast or message me or talk to me or have a debate back and forth as to what the benefits are of VAR, not just in Scotland, because you're saying like up here it's shite and they've not got the technology. In England, you watch Premier League games as well, and it's awful. Like, VAR should be brought in to control handball situations. For example, like Thierry Henry against Ireland. You remember he keeps the ball in. It's so blatantly obvious. It's in a massive crucial moment. The ref misses it because refs can miss things. That's fine. It shouldn't be brought in for these tiny infractions that are so subjective. You could literally split. If you got 100 refs lined up and said penalty or not penalty, there's going to be 50-50 in a lot of these. So what's the point in going to a monitor or going to a room of referees and saying, what do you think? Just like everyone that gets bad decisions on the pitch for and against their team, just let that happen. And I guess everyone in Scotland wanted it to stop the old firm getting these decisions. Clearly not gonna happen that way anyway, because there's still going to be that bias that exists regardless. To an extent, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy.
No, I agree with you though. I do think that they kind of, I said it, earlier on, I do think that they crumble under the pressure, and that's not just a Celtic thing, it's a Rangers thing as well. But I'm not a massive fan of VAR. Like, I'm not, and it doesn't seem to work perfectly in any country, really, as far as I understand. But up here, the big problem is just the inability to stick to the fucking rules. Like, that's the problem. So as much as you can get a decision wrong even still through VAR, I understand that, but it's the frequency of errors. I mean, you look at last season when Willie Collum was doing his, I don't know if he's still doing it now, but his show of, reviewing referee decisions. I mean, how many times did that go well? Like that, seriously, it was, yeah, we fucked that one up. Yeah, we fucked that one up. Or, it was embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
You get the shite refs that were reffing the games, and then you put them in the room to be the VAR, and they're still going to be the shite refs that don't have. You need to, that's a flawed system to have the same people that are making the mistakes to go.
They're coming in and getting training from fucking fighter pilots and stuff like that pre-season. It's just like, well,
what do you mean?
Did you not hear about that? No. So Willie Collum had organised for them to get training from, I think it was like fighter pilots pre-season, so they can make better and quicker decisions or something. But I mean, Christ Almighty, it's it's a vicious cycle with refereeing up here, because they don't invest enough in it to actually get decent referees sort of coming through. Probably don't pay them enough. Over the years we've obviously seen referees juggling second jobs. You've had fucking the head of bloody Conservatives in Scotland, as a lino. You've had Bobby Madden, who's been working in the police. It's mad, and being at that stage, it just shows you how little they seem to invest of all that TV money or any other sort of money that they tend to get in through the SFA, how little they invest in refereeing. And it's hurting us, big time, because it's an embarrassment. It's really difficult. If you look at the league at the moment, you've got, obviously, Rangers not doing too well. Celtic could be a wee bit better, but they'll bounce back. But you've got, Hearts coming through, Hibs doing really well. You've got a lot of teams punching above their weight, like Motherwell, etc. Kilmarnock, in there too. And then, you're ruining their chances. I mean, Kelly could have got something out of that game, and that's a huge
you're right. Managers lose jobs.
Momentum.
Managers lose jobs.
Yeah, and that's points
clubs
lost.
Get relegated because of these decisions that.
Absolutely.
And with clubs, scrap VAR. Let's just go back to the way it was, man. No benefit comes from VAR. Not for the fans watching in the stadium. Not for the clubs getting on the decisions wrong. The referees who are under pressure when they go to the monitor, like you saw in the Scotland game. When the ref actually went to the monitor and said, "Nah, actually, I'm sticking by my decision." No one ever does that. Like here, you never. Yeah. Once they go to the monitor, it's like, well, I'm just going to give the decision that they tell me.
Game over. Yeah.
Why can't they like stick by their original decision and like
without a proper backing and a real voice behind the scrap VAR movement, though? Like, it's not going to happen. You're going to have too many people with big egos that have put this into place. That'll be too embarrassed to backtrack on their decision after it only been in place for, was it 3-4 years? So, and also people will see it as us taking a step further away from other competitive leagues. The closest one to us geographically is obviously the English Premier League. So, and loads of people up here watch that. It's the biggest league in the world. So people will see that as a step away from that, and everyone that laughs at Scottish football already will say, "Oh, look, they don't even have VAR." But who is it benefiting? Like, I can't think of anyone that enjoys or sees the benefit of VAR. Like I say, for the cut and shot black and white offsides, fair enough. For super obvious handballs, again, fair enough. But if you're going to have it in place for those things, they'll start bringing it in. They'll start asking referees the questions of the smaller, trickier decisions. So to me, there is no benefit. Just get rid of it altogether. And like it or lump it, go back to getting the odd decision against you, and maybe invest. Well, what they should have done back then, you can't do it now. The money's already gone. But invest that money that's spent on VAR into improving the refereeing quality.
that's what they've done in Norway. So in Norway, the start of this year, the top flight clubs voted to get rid of VAR because it wasn't working. So it just shows that, is the Norwegian league that much different from the SPFL? Not massively, so I mean, it's been done. Maybe it should be done again. The only problem is does the money actually get invested to improve the referee? It just I don't know where that money goes, genuinely, because I haven't seen refereeing move forward over the time I've been watching football, in Scotland. I've only seen it regress, and I think it's only exposed it more with VAR. But yeah, I mean, you need a long-term plan there to get good quality referees, full-time referees. I just don't know if they'll ever do that.
I'm not sure personally if it's regressed, because we just seem to remember way more about football now because it's all over social media. I think the only times you're really going to see bad refereeing decisions 20 years ago is on sports scene, or if you were at the game, because there was no social media. The clips aren't everywhere saying, "Oh, look at this shite decision, look at that."
True.
So it could be that refereeing has improved, but there's just the scrutiny on it, and VAR increases that scrutiny as well, because if you've got one ref on the pitch that gets it wrong, and then it goes to the VAR, and a team full of refs still gets it wrong, it just highlights their inequality, not inequality, their lack of quality.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I felt that the refs were slightly more stronger characters back in the day, though. That's the only thing, and
yeah, big John Robotham, mate, from Kirkcaldy as well. John Robotham, good ref. Never got one decision wrong.
There you go. But they had more authority in the game. Is what it felt like. I feel the referees have got a bit weaker up here now, and they will crumble a lot easier. I do think so. I do believe there's more scrutiny because social media and all that, and maybe that has contributed to them crumbling a bit more. But and that's understandable, because it's broadcast then everywhere, rather than just being seen on a highlight show on BBC or something like that, once a week. So I can understand that, but it has affected the quality of refereeing. If that's a factor, it's terrible. It's absolutely awful. It's very rarely I'll get through watching a Rangers game, whether it's gone one way or the other, where it's a poor, really really poor decision that's been made during that game, and a crucial decision as well. Whether that's for or against Rangers, it doesn't matter. But it just doesn't get any better. Like it only seems to get worse.
Andrew, I've got some good news for you, mate. When Rangers get relegated, there's no VAR in the Championship, mate. You'll be alright for next season. That's
really good. I've been keeping a sharp eye on the Championship this season because I need to see who we're playing next season. Yeah. But yeah, that is one benefit, I'll tell you. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, Matt, incredible. You've just given us a cracking segue to talk about the Rangers. It must have been a good couple of weeks since we've tucked into a vegan sausage roll and discussed the goings on at Ibrox. Obviously a 2-0 defeat to Hearts, and we're not going to focus on the performance of the players or anything else like that. We really just want to talk about Russell Martin, his position in the hot seat in the dugout, and just get all of our thoughts again on what happens next for Rangers. So again, chorus is a booze, chorus is a Martin out is like super, super toxic, that atmosphere when you watch the highlights, especially from the stands, from POV of the fans. And there doesn't seem to be a way back, I don't think. But the board have come out and said they're not sacking him. He said he's not resigning. But I mean, what happens next?
Yeah, I mean, it will go one way. Like this, it's as simple as that. I saw they're all went for a little swim at Loch Lomond today together. A little bit of team bonding.
Was Raskin there?
He's probably standing at the sides watching, but it was. It's going exactly as I said. I thought it would go. It was going to go. He was at the point of no return, unfortunately, ages ago, and
when
I mean,
it's going the way you said it was going to go. When? Because I think pre-season you said they were going to win the league.
He did actually.
Yeah, no. Look, I didn't say at the start that I was against Martin coming in. A lot of Rangers fans were, and that was the problem. And, ultimately, it's only become more and more toxic. The league form there's no defending it, it's diabolical. It's awful. But, for me, I was looking at the European games that, they were managing to get results. Some deserve, some maybe not so deserve, but they were getting results. It's fine. The Bruges game obviously was a killer for the momentum, but I think Russell Martin is massively out of his depth. I think that's really clear. He's just fallen out with too many people. He's caused a lot of the disharmony. If you look back on a lot of the interviews, which I have done over the last sort of 24 hours.
He does, Andrew, quickly, just let me jump. He never blames himself. That's the thing in his interviews.
That's what I was going to say. He always blames the players. He always has somebody else to blame, yeah.
He said the players were they were nervous or they were scared, or what did he say after the Hearts game?
Anxious, anxious, yeah. I've actually read the same quote. He said that at MK Dons, he said that at Swansea, he said that at Southampton as well.
Egomaniac.
I think he kind of is, unfortunately. You see then the interviews from Egoman last week as well. He didn't actually really want to go, but effectively there didn't seem to be any way of him becoming Desser's replacement. And that obviously became very toxic. The Raskin situation is extremely toxic.
He's never once said I played the formation wrong, or
if you look at Amorim, after the Manchester derby, I know obviously it's switching away from Scottish football, but he in his interview throws his hands up and said, players that work really hard, I got it wrong. Martin's never done that once on any of these, poor results where we've dropped points or we've been defeated, and
because he's not got it wrong. He never gets it wrong.
Okay,
I stand with Russell.
Okay, so what's he got right then?
Everything. He's just bad attitudes amongst that squad. You said
every single player's a rat, and everyone hates Martin.
No, bad leadership amongst the squad's bad attitudes. That was.
You saw the tactics are clearly not working against. Even Andrew said in the European games, Andrew said they were cut open many times in those games as well. They could have lost 4 goals. He clearly hasn't found the right midfield. He hasn't managed to get.
And there's no way for that to change. No.
Well, he needs to accept that he might have to sort of adapt and his sort of philosophy or whatever he thinks.
The only time he's done that is when we were getting spanked by Bruges, and that was the best football we've played.
He can become. He can still be a success if he drastically changes, or at least has give himself the players opportunity to play better in a tactic system that suits the players that he's got, because that's it now. The chances of shut down in a few weeks, I don't know. He's
got a lot at the same time. I agree with what you're saying to an extent, but he's spent a lot in that window. Best part of 30 mil. In that window, actually. So realistically, he's kind of got what he wanted, and he has been very, very stubborn about not playing certain players that he maybe hasn't signed, like Raskin, for example. Matthew's disappeared.
He's gone.
But it's you can't say he's not got what he wanted out of the window. He has. He definitely has. He's more than got that. He's been backed more than any other Rangers manager, but he's got the worst record domestically in 47 years. So I'm struggling to defend him now, and I think his interviews are becoming sort of a bit petulant, really, and it's not helping the situation. Anyone that really had maybe a bit of kind of backing for him, it's gone now. But from the board's perspective, I think they're only really hanging on to him because they see the record of Rangers sacking managers, and they're trying to sort of buck that trend. But we're sitting 10th, so it's
10th after 5 games and only 2 wins away from being in the top 3. So
you're going to give him a few weeks to bed in the players and pick the right formation.
Yeah, just because you spend money doesn't mean that they're going to come in and instantly I know the football's not been good, and it's.
But Hearts have done that. Motherwell have done that. Dundee have done that.
and there's loads of teams in the past. Have done that. There's loads of teams that you could name in the past, and don't ask me to because I've not researched it. But there'll be loads of teams in the past who have gone the other way, who've signed players, it hasn't worked out immediately, and then it does come good. So just to say that the teams you're playing against have done that and you've not, I mean, it is a point, but it's not the be all, and it's not the only point, I don't think. So you've said 47 years, worst record in the best part of a half century. Is he the worst Rangers manager in your lifetime?
Yeah, easily. Yeah. I can't. I mean, at this point, Caixinha looks pretty good. You know, at least he won a game. So, you know, it's actually mental. Like, you know, I've never been in this situation with Rangers before. So he is by far the worst manager I can remember. It's the most toxic I've ever seen Ibrox. You know, when the home fans are joining in with the away fans singing "Sacked in the Morning," you know, it was ringing round. I was listening to it on the radio. It's just so toxic, like so toxic, and it comes back to that point we're talking about refereeing, where the whole sort of pressure comes on from, you know, social media, and it gets magnified. And you know, it wouldn't have been like that back in the Le Guen era, for example, but at this point, I'm really struggling to find an example of a worse Rangers manager. And I can't see it getting any better. You know, just even looking at the body language with Tav's interview, it feels like he's holding back a lot of stuff that he maybe actually wants to say. And, you know, he's one that's had a massive fallout with Martin, it seems, at the start of the season as well. And it just feels very toxic, you know, really, really toxic. So I'm sorry it hasn't worked out for Russell Martin, but I just can't see a way back for him. It would be the most monumental comeback I've ever seen in football, probably from a managerial perspective. But yeah, I can't see a way back for him.
Is Barry and his boys going to be in before Christmas, you reckon, then?
I think Barry will be sitting by the phone, sort of polishing his brogues, you know. But I don't know. I mean, realistically, I think they need to look at a permanent solution, and because they're so far behind, and they will be even more, you know, behind. They'll be out of the cup, you know, as of the next game, and they'll be, I think, the next 5 league games. You know, to be fair, I would be very surprised if they picked up a win over those. You know,
come
being
on,
completely
man.
honest.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious, and you know, I did say it a couple of weeks ago, but you know, if there's any team that you kind of want to come up against at the moment, it's Rangers, because
surely they
they're
can beat Aberdeen,
really
mate.
winded up.
Only team below you.
I don't know. You've got Aberdeen, Livy away, Falkirk.
Even in an attacking sense, there's no positives looking towards the front end of the pitch.
Not really. Like, this is the thing. I just
Can't outscore their opponents.
Whatever style he's trying to do, it does leave us exposed at the back. But the thing is, it's the way that we move the ball forward as well. It's just, whatever it is, as you said, whether it's they've not got the right players to do the job, even though they have spent, I don't know, who knows, but it's not working. You know, he either needs to swallow the pill and adapt his tactics, and maybe, you know, do a couple of phases before he kind of moves towards the total kind of Martin football, if that's what he's wanting to do, or, you know, or he dies by the sword, basically. You know, I think that's basically how it's going to go. But I can't see him adapting. He's just so stubborn. To be honest, he's just seems like a bit of a cock. So don't fancy going for a pint with him. But yeah, he's I don't know. It's a hard job. It's a very, very difficult job. But I just don't think he's cut out for it, unfortunately.
Seems a bit mental to me to say the worst manager in your lifetime for a football club is someone who's only lost one game in the league. Personally, well, I think
who else is worse?
Well, I think to judge a manager, you can't. Just my opinion. I don't think you can do it over just 5 games. If a striker gets sent off twice in the space of 5 games and doesn't score a goal and scores an own goal, is he the worst striker like a team's ever had? I think they're judged over a longer period of time, and you've had managers who've. The reason that I think this is, you get rid of managers so quickly. Like, everyone laughs at Michael Beale and how shit he was. still got an incredible win record with Rangers. And I'm not going to keep going back and forth about Michael Beale and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, but my point is, he was hated before he even had a ball kicked by a lot of the fans. And now, not just you, but loads of fans are saying it's the worst manager we've ever had. You've not even given him a chance to prove if he can do better than what he's currently doing. So, in terms of,
you can't risk it though. The thing is, if Rangers,
I get that, but you can't risk it. So from if I'm the owner of that club, like you're saying, you can't risk it. I do kind of get that, but from a fan's perspective, like if you look at managers' lists or from your club or from any club, and you see someone with less than 10 games and they've got either a 0% win rate or a 100% win rate, they're not counted against the managers that have had 100 plus games for the club, because you can't really compare. So that's why I'm saying someone like a Paul Le Guen, a Caixinha would be worse. But
you look at Ross County, for example. You know, they've got rid of Don Cowie very early in the season because they should be competing at the top of the league, and they needed to quickly change that before St Johnstone ran away with it. And we've all said they've made a good appointment, it's going to come good, that'll be fine. Rangers are in the same situation, but probably, definitely seriously magnified, you know, in every area, in terms of fan pressure, in terms of the amount of money they've spent. You know, it's record breaking. All of these things, you know.
It's apples and oranges, if you pardon the pun, because Ross County got relegated last season. They know Don Cowie's been there for a while. Russell Martin's brand new in the door. I don't think you can compare the two, personally.
Okay, well, Bayer Leverkusen then, who got rid of Ten Hag after 2 games. So, you know, it's there they've realised he's toxic for the atmosphere behind the scenes. He's causing a huge problem. You know, there's huge assets on their books that effectively want the fuck out of there if he's going to carry on. It's like that at Rangers, but they've just let it go on a bit longer. So
that's the debate about whether he should get sacked or not. I'm saying I'm discussing about whether or not he's the worst manager they've ever had. I don't think you can make a judgment on that.
To jump in, I think
after that
the games is one aspect of it, but the fact that he's caused such disharmony behind the scenes, or it seems that way anyway, and it seems that he had a number of fallouts with certain key players in a quick period of time. Perhaps he's not the worst manager, but he certainly had a disastrous few months.
No getting away from that.
I've never seen anything like that at Rangers. Right, Rangers have been, you know, in a difficult situation for a while, but I've never seen a manager immediately fall out with so many players, lose assets that we really needed to hang on to this season. You know, and I mean, look at what's just happened over the weekend before. You know, you've had Cornelius scoring a fucking mental free kick. You've had Asgard scoring 4 goals, you know, when he's looked pretty shit in a Rangers shirt. You know, you've had Raskan scoring for Belgium. I mean, I don't think there's really any circumstances, unless like Raskan shagged Lucy Pinder or something, you know, that effectively you're keeping a Belgian international out of the team. You know, for a Scottish club, I just can't, like, it's an ego thing, and he's really running it feels like he's almost trying to get sacked, you know, because it's just like, on what planet would you do that, you know? And obviously a lot of you know, people with management experience have said, you know, it would have to be so extreme for that to happen, and under those circumstances you would really have to kind of tell, you know, everybody what's going on, because you've got, you know, a guy that you've apparently resolved everything with, who's got a completely clean slate, but yet and has just scored for Belgium in an international the weekend before, and then is kept on the bench, and well, he's not even on the bench, he's in the stands, you know. So he's just so capable of falling out with anyone, that I've just never seen anything like that. And obviously the fans are backing the players, sometimes right, sometimes wrong, but I've just never seen such a huge disharmony at the club. I just can't see a way back for him. I can't, you know, I really can't. I agree with you. We've gone through too many managers. I agree with you. It's hard to tell if he's the worst manager ever because he's not had enough games. But he's the manager with the worst record at Rangers since 1976, before I was born. So if you're asking me, is he the worst manager at Rangers? Of course he fucking is. Like, I've never seen Ibrox like that. I've never seen the players that pissed off, and I've never seen a manager have such a terrible start at Rangers. So he is the worst manager I've ever seen.
Fair enough. That's Russell Martin being well and truly rinsed here. So let's try and end on a more... Oh, my lamp's about to fall over. On a more joyous note for... Oh, sorry, Matthew.
Sorry about the camera again, boys. I don't know what happened. Just calm.
Yeah, for those who are watching, apologies that you can't see Matt. For those who are listening, you're fine. You're enjoying life just the same. You can still hear his dulcet tones.
I had a few episodes with the camera, maybe 2 or 3. So.
I think out of 16, you've maybe done 10?
Yeah, we go
Good
again.
ones.
We go again next week. See how it goes.
We'll try again. Maybe that's what Russell should start saying to his players. We'll go again next week, lads.
Well, he keeps saying,
if
it's
you're still
never going to
here.
get as bad as this. And then he said that like 4 times. So it can.
It can. It's time for our weekly quiz. It's home or away.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
Nice. The scores at the end of episode 15 last week were 34 to Andrew and 31 to Matt. He did some incredible clawing back, and Andrew struggled a lot with his home question of Alan Thompson, which in hindsight was ruddy unfair. So apologies extended, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
You admit that it was a hard home, then you...
It was on the hard side, yeah. Definitely not the easiest one we've had. But it's Andrew to go first this week to redeem himself.
I'll go home again.
Home again. Okie dokie. A Nigerian defender with 51 caps and 4 goals. 30 seconds for the first clue has started.
Fucking hell.
You got a countdown clock. You got the noise.
I don't have the sound effects, sadly.
Nigerian defender.
Nigerian defender, 51
Could
caps, 4 goals.
Could he have had as many as 51 caps? Could have had 4 goals because he's capable of that. Do I just take a
guess
punt
or
and
clue?
go here?
Guess or clue?
I'm going to just guess, I think.
Oh, early guess.
But only because I can't think of any other Nigerian defenders, so I'm going to say Leon Balogun.
Leon Balogun, you are incorrect, sir.
Bastard.
Matthew, no more clues for you, but you do get a stab for 3 points.
I'll go Effie Ambrose.
Effie Ambrose is correct. Well done. 3 points.
Come on,
well
Effie.
done.
Ties it up at 34 apiece with a question in hand. It's his first chance since week 2 to regain the lead here. Is it home or away?
Let's go away.
Oh,
wow. Beefy.
Balls out of the bath. Your first clue is an uncapped, retired French forward.
Can you repeat? It's like uncapped.
Retired.
So you never get any caps. He's now retired.
French forward.
And he's French. And he's a forward.
Yes.
Okay, one name springs to mind.
Hey, one name springs to mind after that clue.
An uncapped, retired French forward, and you've already got it.
Nah, can I get the second clue, please?
He's not gambling. Okay, clue 2. This player played for 6 different Scottish clubs, including Dunfermline, Ayr and Hibs.
That wasn't what I thought. Dunfermline, Ayr, and he's French. He's French.
If guessed correctly here, it's worth 4 points.
He's French.
If you move on to clue 3, it would be worth 2 points.
He thinks you're French. Okay, let me think. Dunfermline, Ayr and Hibs, and he's retired, and he's French. He's a strike. He was a forward.
Dunfermline.
I said he was a forward, yeah.
Dunfermline, Ayr and Hibs.
That's just 3 of the 6 Scottish sides he played for. Is it going to be a guess or a clue?
Was he?
Because your time is up.
But that wasn't 30 seconds. Get lost.
It was.
Wasn't.
In ages.
He's stalling, man.
That's a really short period of time to think about this one. Like, you should get a minute. Well,
I think
come on now.
I think I might have it, but
I'll go to the last clue then.
I'm unsure of the nationality.
He's bluffing.
Not sure how much this will help, but I'll give it to you anyway. Worth 2 points if guessed correctly. This player won the Scottish Challenge Cup with Falkirk in 2012.
Not sure, but maybe. Well, he played for Hibs. Dunfermline.
On the Scottish Challenge Cup with Falkirk. Pard. French. Forward. I can't think of any names.
I thought you had one right at the start, no?
Yeah, it was Christian Nadi, but it wasn't him. He's French though, right? Is he French?
Pass.
Maybe. Alan Johnston. He's French. Okay, so Ayr, was it Ayr, Hibs, Falkirk? Hibs, did you say?
He played for Dunfermline, Ayr and Hibs, and he's won the Challenge Cup with Falkirk, which leaves 2 other Scottish teams that he's played for as well. I'll give you 15 or so seconds from here, sir, because you've already had 30.
Clock must have got a bit stuck when I was fucking on the go there. Jesus. Must have been on bloody double speed.
I don't know. Time me out. I can't think.
Pass.
Yeah.
It moves over to Andrew for 2 points to regain the lead.
Not sure about the nationality. It's either Egyptian or France, but I'm going to say El Alagoui.
Farid El Alagoui is correct.
Oh,
well done.
Shout. Well done.
Incredible stuff from Andrew.
I knew it was Dunfermline and Hibs. Did not know about Ayr and did not know about Falkirk. But
it's not a French name, is it? You're right. It didn't jump out. It's who I would think would be French. Yeah. Watch out.
I knew if he was French, he wouldn't have been capped. But
yeah,
if he was from somewhere else, then possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't have anyone else though.
Well done, Andrew. That was a good one.
Well done, yeah. That's 36-34 after episode 16, and it's going to be Matt, to start next week. That's all the quizzing done, and that's all we've got time for on this Tuesday episode of Tin Pot. We're going to release another episode on Friday, as we always do. You can get in touch with us in all the usual places. I won't bore you with that again, but I'll just thank you for listening if you are still around after 50 odd minutes. Thanks so much. Enjoy your week. And from Matt and Andrew, would you like to say cheerio in your own special way? Lovely. Goodbye. Peace.